And welcome back to Stormhawk's Headcannon. And finally, I'm going to be talking about the last of my ships for Stormhawks and my headcanon for them. And that is, as you can see right here, Finn and Suzy-Lu. Now, yes, I know what you're thinking. Really? Finn and Suzy-Lu? That is like the definition of a crack ship. Well, true, but hear me out. In a weird way, I could see it working. You see, both the Blizzarians as well as Finn are very fun-loving. They have like a loose sense of the rules, although it's very obvious. Suzy-Lu does have a sense of duty, although she goes about it a little differently. They're both both Suzy and Finn are very carefree. But they're still loyal to their respective teams. I can definitely see them being like kind of jokey and loose with one another. Definitely. I know Suzy's technically a little older than Finn, but still I can see this working. Now, my headcanon for this ship is that Finn is kind of like he's been rejected again from another woman, and they're visiting Blizzaris, and he's still kind of sulking about it. And Suzy-Lu's like, well, what's your problem, Finn? He's like, oh, I don't think at this point, girls I'm never gonna get a girl. I mean, Arrow and Piper are together. Yeah, so, even Junko got with Dove. I still can't get my head around that. So, what happens is that Suzy-Lu asks, well, what, she basically asks him, well, maybe you're going after, maybe it's because you're going only after human women. And Finn's like, wait, what? And she's like, yeah, what if you ever could consider dating, someone of another species in Atmos? And he's like, what, like, a raptor or something? And Suzy-Lu's like, think about it. And then, Finn finally just decides, screw it, if that's the case, I'll just ask you on a date. And Suzy's like, okay, wasn't expecting that, but sure. And they hit it off, and that's kind of where it goes from there. Now, in my headcanon, for the Blizzarians, in my headcanon, Suzy-Lu is the Queen of Blizzaris. She's what is known as the Grand Matriarch of the Terra, of the people. More or less is that she was a prince. She's technically royalty in my headcanon, because in my headcanon, Blizzaris is a very matriarchal society. It's a very matriarchal society. Women have a lot of power in there. Not to say men don't, but women make up like a lot of a parliament group. A lot of the political parties are women. And again, the Grand Matriarch is a queen. It's always been a queen of Blizzaris. And yeah, Suzy-Lu is the latest in that line of Grand Matriarchs, and she takes her job of being the leader of her people seriously. There was also a whole thing that I wanted to do where Suzy-Lu's talking to Finn about how she became Grand Matriarch when he discovers you're not just the leader of your squadron, you're the queen of your Terra, and she's like, yeah, I'm queen. But how she got it is really depressing. More or less what happened is that after the fall of Blizzaris, her mother was still Grand Matriarch, and they fled to another Terra. They fled to another Terra that used to be an ancient home for Blizzarians. Problem is that someone already got there first and was making it into an outpost for them. That would be the Raptors. And one Raptor named Talos, murdered Suzy-Lu's mother, thus leading to Suzy-Lu becoming the next Grand Matriarch. So yeah, that was that's what kind of led to it. I also had it for my headcanon, and maybe I'll go, I know I've done Stormhawk's headcanon for Blizzaris before, but I think I need to go deeper into it, because there was some other stuff I forgot to mention. But yeah, that's for another time. Basically what happens is that, after that, Suzy-Lu kind of became, she didn't want to be, she didn't want that, to have that responsibility so far ahead of her. She's kind of like, my headcanon is that Suzy-Lu projects herself as, this fun, carefree person, and very kind and caring. But when she goes into, what I call her queen mode, she's like a mix of, T'Challa and Thorin Oakenshield. Yeah, that's how my headcanon for Suzy-Lu is that she projects herself as, very fun-loving, very carefree, very loose, but when it comes to protecting her Terra and ruling her kingdom, or what's left of her people, she goes, she goes from funny to serious like that. And it's also funny to note that, technically speaking, Finn kind of made, like, I had the ideas that Finn more or less says, I'm technically royalty too. I'm the Terra, I'm the Domo of Terra Vapos. And Suzy-Lu goes, you mean that Terra that doesn't, that's a legend? The one that people don't think exists, including me? He's like, shut up! It's real! Ask Arrow, he's been there. Ask Stork, he's been there twice. I'm the Domo, I'm royalty. Yeah, let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. Finn is technically royalty. So yeah. It's also interesting to note that this wasn't really, like, a lot of my other ships where they're all kind of loosely based on something, well, this and, Arrow and Piper. The other ones, like, Junko and Dove is very much inspired by Esmeralda and Quasimodo. Starling and Repton is like Beauty and the Beast, and Piper and Persephone, Cyclonus and Perry are based off of the tale of Hades and Persephone. So yeah, this, with the exception of those three, Arrow and Piper and this pairing, Finn and Suzy-Lu, are not really based on any relationship, stories. But anyway, so yeah, the other thing is that when they find out, the other Stormhawks find out he's dating Suzy-Lu, they're like, really? Suzy-Lu, did you lose a bet or something? Because this feels a little weird. And Finn's justifiably like, well, fuck you guys. And the Absolute Zeros are like, oh, okay, I didn't know you had that low standards, don't you know? And Suzy-Lu just looks at Billy Rex and goes, shut the fuck up. He's like, yes, my queen. So yeah, that's kind of like the other way of, like, I was thinking of it is like how Finn finds out that she's the queen, is that they go to a home that looks like this royal castle of ice, and he's like, man, whoever lives here has got to be, like, really egotistical and really full of themselves. This is my home. Oh, it's nice! Yeah, it's totally nice. I mean, very feng shui, very icy feng shui feel going on. And Suzy-Lu tells him, just stop while you're ahead right now. Just throw the shovel away and stop digging a hole. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much my Stormhawks headcanon for my other major ship in Stormhawks. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this pairing and how I kind of explained it? Just comment below, let me know. I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say about this one especially, and regarding Carlotta Studio, because I know you're watching this, really interested in what you think. But anyway, once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I'm out.